Okay.
So, we went and saw Collateral Beauty, otherwise known as grief porn. And the reason we went to see it was because we heard it was bad. Brad called it the spiritual successor to A Winter's Tale.
I didn't call it that.
Via text message.
A couple of critics did.
But Brad cited a source which called it the spiritual successor to Winter's Tale, and I said, fucking sold, because we love that movie.
Yes.
This was not a spiritual successor to A Winter's Tale.
Different kind of bad movie.
A Winter's Tale was a delightful romp through absurdity and earnestness. This was a bunch of actors going, you know what's sad? Dead babies. Watch me cry about dead babies for 2 hours.
This movie is a lot more than that. This is one of the most sickening Hollywood films I've seen since Wired. Like, this movie is a disaster like I rarely see. Like, this is a mess. This is, I sat there most of the time really not believing what I was seeing, because I can't believe someone thought this was a good idea. I can't believe this many good actors thought this was a good idea.
It's such an actor's movie. Because it's like, it's them crying about stuff, and then us cutting to like a physical symbol of the feelings that the actors are having, and then we cut back to the actor to watch them feel it some more, and like every single word, every single sentence is the sort of sentence that you'd see in a trailer. Like, there's no actual conversations in this movie. It's just people saying trailer lines at each other.
It is. It's manipulative garbage. I felt nauseous watching this movie. This movie is... I'm almost at a loss for words how trashy this movie is. Like, if it weren't for horrible propaganda, this may be the worst movie I've seen this year. This may be one of the worst fucking movies of the goddamn decade. Like, when I saw the trailer for this movie, I thought it would be one of two things. Like, it's out for Oscar season, so maybe, like, at best it might be fine Oscar bait, sure, fine, with a little bit of cynicism thrown in there. At worst, it'll be something like, Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close.
Was it like Extremely Loud?
No, I mean, well, yeah, in the sense that they're both manipulative garbage made by soulless, blood-sucking creeps. Like, this movie is, I can't imagine somebody going through grief and seeing the trailer for this movie and thinking they're gonna get into something that is not this movie. The trailer is one of the most misleading goddamn things I've ever seen in my life. But at the same time, I kinda get it. I kinda get why the trailer's so misleading, because if they actually sold what this fucking movie is about, this is one of the most cruel pieces of shit outside of something like the goddamn guinea pig films.
Not familiar with the guinea pig films.
Torture porn.
I'm on board with you.
That's my thoughts.
Because I feel like the actors must have genuinely believed they were going to help the people with dead babies, like, get through.
Did they? Because a lot of them are fucking awful in this.
Keira Knightley is, like, doing that teeth thing that she does that drives me crazy, because, like, you know when you click your teeth together and it makes that kind of, like, inside your head styrofoam noise of teeth on teeth? That's the noise that I hear in my head whenever she goes in an attempt to express an emotion. And she does that throughout the entirety of this movie.
Kate Winslet and Edward Norton have scenes together where it feels like they're just reading lines.
Yeah, he's like... I've seen him act in stuff where he's good. He's a good actor.
Yeah.
This, he's just, like... It's like he's reading out of a children's book.
Yeah,
and to the person in the scene with him, and sometimes they're giving him stuff back, and he's just giving them nothing.
You honestly hit it right on the head when you said they're all saying trailer lines, which is weird because the lines that are in the trailer are wildly out of context for how they are in this film. The only person who I thought was really good, it was Will Smith. Like, I'm going to
disagree with you on that.
Sometimes. There were moments where I thought it was a little much, but there were parts where I thought, with a better script, he's real. I can see the grief in this guy's eyes.
Well, like I said, I Googled it, and I was looking at headlines, and one of them was Will Smith uses the death of his father to, inform his acting, and so like you could see that he was actually sad, but the problem is that he was like in some scenes he was going for super sad, like dead baby sad.
Yeah.
And the way he was doing that was either squinching his eyes up so that the tears that were forming would look super welly, or looking like straight up drunk, just absolute like so sad in the mouth, and then squinching in the eyes that he looked like he was so drunk he couldn't see straight.
No, I mean, true, because it's a horribly directed film, but there were parts where I could see, like, this, I could see him giving a thoroughly really good performance in a movie like this that deals with grief and things like that. I mean, there are parts where he doesn't work, especially the ending. But the parts where he did, when he was on the subway with Helen Mirren, I actually thought he was really good there.
Were you screaming the lyrics to row, row, row your boat at her?
Yeah, I thought he did perfectly fine.
I was not on board with that.
Well, I wasn't, again, not in the sense it was making me cry,
I'm not blaming him. This movie made me cry several times because it fucking wanted to.
It did. See, that's how it didn't get me. I wanted to throw my fucking soda at this goddamn thing.
I was crying because, you know, it's sad fucking dead babies. But, like, you could... I'm not blaming Will Smith. He's a fantastic actor. They're all fantastic actors.
No, they truly are.
You can feel the guy off screen yelling, sadder. No, sadder. No, I mean, like, sadder. Look, your babies are dead. You need to look super sad in the scene. And so he's just
from the writer of So Undercover, I'm shocked. Fuck this turd.
And it has a twist ending.
Oh, before we even get to that, it has several twists. Here's how fucking manipulative this goddamn movie is. Every fucking time it shows him flashing back to his kid, you can see this in the trailer. It's one of the only things the trailer actually sells right, in that it's in context of the movie, is him spinning his daughter arm by arm. Later on, they're showing it like it's actual video footage on a
movie.
I don't know how they got that goddamn camera angle.
He must have had a GoPro strapped to his chest, I guess, because it's like his daughter. You're seeing it like this, like, "Hey, Daddy, spin me." Now
the actual plot of this movie, it's gonna sound like we're spoiling it, but it's not. It's the plot of the movie. They just don't show you this in the trailer. If you were to see the trailer for this movie, it looks like Will Smith is the star, and he's really not. The first half of this movie, he's barely in.
Yeah, he's just wandering around in a stupor in the background with Ed Norton and Kate Winslet and other guys.
Michael Pena.
Like, fret in the foreground.
Yeah, and they're pretty much the leads in this movie, because they work for an ad agency. They work for an ad agency. Will Smith lost his daughter. And
yeah, Will Smith and Ed Norton are like the partner owners of this ad agency. And then Will Smith lost his daughter, lost complete ability to function, and just built dominoes all day. And so they're losing all their clients because apparently Ed Norton is useless as a partner. It was all on Will Smith's shoulders. So they're losing clients, and they find that someone's willing to buy their company for $17 a share. And I remember that precisely because it's brought up fucking 20 times throughout the course of the movie. $17 a share.
The title of the movie is brought up several times in the movie.
Which collateral beauty doesn't mean anything. No. But anyway, so they're trying to sell the company, but they can't because Will Smith owns 60% of the company, and so they have to try to make him look crazy by hiring actors to play these abstract concepts that he's written letters to, and a private detective broke federal law stealing out of a mailbox.
Hang on just a sec with that. Like, what if he was just mailing his bills?
Yeah.
Like, what if he was just sending a letter to somebody?
She's not a good private detective.
So she paid $800 to have, like, a fucking key made to get in the mailbox. What if it wasn't? He was writing to fucking abstract concepts and shit.
It turns out that she's the abstract concept of mail fraud.
Yeah, or she follows him with a cell phone through most of the movie, but that's a whole other thing. So the trailer makes it look like it's like fucking, I don't know, It's a Wonderful Life, but whatever. And no, this is said at the beginning of the movie that the three leads hire Helen Mirren, the guy who plays Time, and Keira Knightley to go up to Will Smith and pretend to be these concepts to make him look crazy so they can capture it on film to the point to where they're digitally taking out Like
the lady was here, Helen Mirren was here, and then Will Smith was here. How the fuck they digitally removed Helen Mirren, I have no idea.
Because the writer's a fucking hack who made this piece of shit.
But it turns out that because Helen Mirren plays Death, Keira Knightley plays Love, and other guy plays Time.
Yeah.
Turns out they all
Oh my god.
relate to the plot lines of Ed Norton.
Yeah. Wouldn't you?
Because it's so fucking clever.
It's so clever. Oh, blow me. Like, this movie is, it's one of those scripts that thinks it's so goddamn clever because it's written by a fucking idiot. Like, because wouldn't you fucking know it, Helen Mirren is bonding with Michael Pena, who's dying.
He's got the kind of multiple myeloma where you just daintily cough blood into a handkerchief.
Yeah.
Ed Norton is trying to get his daughter not to hate him, which his daughter was an okay actress. She was trying a little
her
darndest.
character, I was just like, here's what
It was her job to hate his guts, but not really.
Here's how this is solved. Edward Norton should just slap her upside the back of the head. That kid was annoying me, I'm sorry.
You poor thing. I think the whole movie was annoying you.
Yeah, it was. It's a shitty movie.
The daughter thing, I didn't feel him kind of slap her upside the head because the movie did make a point. Because he cheated on her mom, which caused them to divorce. And you got the impression from the lines that she had that the mom was shit-talking him behind her back.
Yeah.
And so the daughter was kind of feeling that and taking it out on Edward
I
Norton.
feel so bad for her. She has to go see Hamilton and has to live in a mansion. She has a new, like, stepdad who's a millionaire. I feel so...
she had no problem with those aspects of her life.
Yeah,
the problem she had was hanging out with her dad.
Oh, yeah, I feel so bad for this kid.
Everyone in this movie was super rich except for Edward Norton.
Yeah, and so, and Time is with, Time is with Kate Winslet.
Who was too busy having a career to make babies.
Yeah.
And is now wishing that she had made babies.
So basically, these three are helping out the three worst people living in New York City. These are scumbags. These are fucking... I don't give a shit.
They're basically tricking their friend into thinking he has a mental disease so that they can sell his company out from under him. And they can cry about it all they want, and they can talk about how much they love him, and they're doing it for his own good, but that's what they're doing.
Yeah, and this movie never addresses that. This movie doesn't address that at all. He
sits there and forgives them at the boardroom table. Like, you guys made the right call doing this bullshit to me.
When he looks
I know you're dying. I know that you're Googling sperm donors, and I know that you aren't talking properly to your daughter. How the hell he knows all that when he couldn't even function enough to feed himself, I have no idea. This movie has no idea how grief works.
Oh, but this movie doesn't know how movies work. Wouldn't you fucking know it, too? It turns out they actually are death, time, and love. So these three, again, concepts have taken physical human form to... once again, help out these three scumbags in New York City.
Instead of going straight to Will Smith, they go to Edward Norton, trick him into paying them to do what they were planning to do in the first
I do
place.
like that they still take the money. That actually was kind of funny. I don't think it was intentionally funny. Why is this movie Reign Over Me crossed with The Game? The Game with Michael Douglas, Reign Over Me, where Adam Sandler pretty much plays the same character Will Smith plays in this movie. Both of those are way better movies than this. Because both of those movies were separate movies that didn't fucking mesh together.
But there's another twist.
Oh, as if I didn't think this movie would possibly get worse.
Because as we were going, we were not the only people in the movie theater for this movie.
Yeah,
there were a couple of people in the back.
Four other people.
As I was getting more and more annoyed, I was trying to kind of keep a cap on it, because what if they had dead babies and were genuinely getting something out of this? But then the twist happened, because Will Smith had been slowly but surely going to this support group called the Littlest Swing Support Group, which, fuck the name of that support group. And
I've been to New York. The Littlest Swing is not a support group.
And so he's getting to know, like, the lady that runs the support group, and she's, as the movie progresses, telling him about her own child that had died, and, how it had destroyed the relationship with her husband, and how her husband had, like, written her a note saying, like, if only we could be strangers again. And then at the end, it turns out that that woman is Will Smith's ex-wife, and her dead baby is his dead baby.
So they're
Which
both
makes
crazy?
Every single interaction they've had up until this point,
Insane!
an intricate, cruel play they were doing at each other.
Is this their fetish? What? I don't get it. And how is she reacting to, since they know each other and have been married and have a kid and are acting towards each other like they're total strangers because that's what this movie thinks people do. How in the fuck is she reacting to him saying, I just had a conversation with death and time, and death came to me as a middle-aged woman?
Sure, let's add another layer of subterfuge to our already completely false relationship. Mm-hmm. And then at the end, it turns out they're fine. She makes him admit that their daughter indeed had a name, and they're back together again. Because the whole movie, she's been saying, like, my daughter's name is Olivia. She died of a rare form of brain cancer called blah, 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 or MSG. What's your daughter's name? He's like, nope. Like, again, just every time he refused something in his life, it took me out of the movie because he was making, like, a, nope, I don't want to eat that spoon that's in front of me baby face.
I didn't have a problem with that.
I did.
I didn't have a problem with that at all. Because I mean, my God, he was trying. He was really, really, really trying. But
I'll give him that. Yeah, it's just again, I think that's maybe it was just bad direction.
Oh, I'm positive that's what it was. This movie directs a cast full of Academy Award nominees like they're community theater actors. Some of them actually fucking playing community theater.
Helen Mirren was kind of leaning into it, and that so her performance I was enjoying because she was an actor playing an actor, and I think that she was doing it really well, and that she was kind of casting herself in an unflattering.
No, she wasn't. Right? Honestly, yeah, she wasn't bad. She was fine. I honestly, I really didn't have a problem with her in this movie. But the final scene in the movie shows the three of them standing there looking at him like it's fucking Return of the Jedi.
They're beaming beatifically down on him from a bridge in Central Park. And he looks up at them like, yeah, you guys are all right.
Yep, it does that. It so does that.
Apparently, if, in catatonic, debilitating grief for your dead daughter for 2 years, to the extent that you run your company into the ground and are incapable of even the smallest amount of communication with your best friend, all you need to do is scream at Helen Mirren on a subway and you are completely fine.
Also, their whole plan could instantly fucking go south the second someone on that subway were to step in to this guy yelling at Helen Mirren's character.
I mean, like, stop picking on that old lady.
Yeah, like, I mean, okay, granted, okay, look, maybe, I mean, it is the New York subway, maybe someone wouldn't, maybe someone wouldn't step in, but I mean, this happens a lot in this goddamn movie. You're really taking a gamble that no one is gonna step in and interact with the person he's talking to.
Point of order, they did have a very specific pointed conversation about determining whether people could or could not see Keira Knightley, Helen Mirren, and other guy, and decided that they could if they wanted them to.
Oh, yeah, that would have really gone over well, like, ooh, I changed it to where that stranger could see me. After they've already established the first time that Helen Mirren ran into him that no one can see them. Like, oh, sorry, I made it to where the busboy could talk to me.
Yes, it's important for this dialogue that we're having.
This movie can blow me.
This movie was not the spiritual successor to A Winter's Tale.
This movie is the spiritual successor to sadness. Like,
Faces of Death.
Fuck. Again, like, this movie is tasteless garbage. It is a hot plate of fucking grief porn dog shit. Fuck this movie. Fuck what this movie represents. Fuck why they made this movie. No one should see this piece of shit. If you're grieving or not, if you're somebody who's grieving, you're gonna walk out of this goddamn fucking movie. And if you're not, you're gonna sit there and yell at it like I am.
I feel like if you've experienced loss of that magnitude, being told to find the collateral beauty in that situation by a bunch of jumped up fucking actors is gonna make you want to set the building on fire.
I feel like if someone's telling me that, I'm probably drunk. And the next day I'm going to be like, what did they say? Watch Collateral Damage? All right.
Surprisingly, that helped a little bit.
You know what? It really did. I kind of needed to see Arnold kill some fucking terrorists. I'll watch Collateral next.
It's the
Hell
7
yeah.
stages of grief. Drunk, collateral damage, drunk again, collateral damage again, barfing.
This movie made me want to puke. And I'm stone cold sober right now. Is there any capacity you would recommend seeing this movie? Like,
Nope.
even as a bad film?
If you lost a bet, if you have a bet that's a sure thing and a friend that you're secretly kind of mad at, bet them and then say that if they lose, they have to watch Collateral Beauty.
There's only one way I recommend this, and one person I recommend it to, and that's for Matthew Buck to do a review of this film.
Yay!
Because he did one on 7 Pounds, that other kind of Will Smith manipulative ass drama, which is a fucking masterpiece compared to this shit. You could tear apart this movie with a fucking knife and fork.
But wasn't he the one that told us about the wheelchair suicide movie?
Yeah.
So this would just be us paying him back, so to speak.
Well,
He's recommending this one too.
In his defense, he didn't tell us that movie was good.
Oh, we're not telling him this movie's good either.
I'm sure by now he knows this movie's not. In fact, I think he might have seen it already. I've been holding off reading reviews of this movie because I didn't want it spoiled for me.
This movie was worse than Wheelchair Suicide.
Oh, Lord,
At least
yeah.
Wheelchair Suicide had some funny moments, and it was only hateful at the very, very end. This movie was hateful throughout.
This movie is worse than actual wheelchair suicide.
Actual wheelchair suicide.
Hello, stairs.
At least in an actual wheelchair suicide, the wheelchair has decided to suicide.
Yeah.
It wasn't just a bunch of actors deciding for them that suicide would be the only option.
Ugh, crazy ass actors.
Much in the same way that this movie has decided that if your baby has died, this is how you should react to it, and these are the words that will uplift you. Is Keira Knightley sobbing at you about how you shouldn't give up on love. Because love is what is making you feel your pain.
The fact that Christmas is in this movie,
Why
too.
is this a Christmas movie?
Silent Night, Deadly Night's a more appropriate Christmas film than this.
This movie has one line in it, and that's, did your child die during the holidays? I noticed that a lot more people come to the grief counseling thing around the holidays because their children died towards the holidays. And that is the only reason for them to have put it around Christmas time.
That, and it seems like a lot of movies that are released around Christmas kind of put Christmas in there somewhere, regardless
it'll
of...
become a perennial favorite.
Well, not so much... I don't think so much that, just because that's just when it's released. Like, I see it a lot sometimes. Like, okay, for example, the recent Jack Reacher movie had a scene in it where it mentions Halloween, because it came out in late October. Like, there's no way that was probably in the original script. They just knew it was going to be coming out in late October, and why the fuck not?
Yeah.
Sometimes that'll... just last week I saw something, I can't remember what, or the week before, where again, because it was out in December, they felt that like an obligation to mention Christmas in there somewhere.
Oh, Die Hard.
It wasn't Office Christmas Party either.
Just gotta think of it, there's no reason for Die Hard to be a Christmas movie either, but it gets away with it because it's fucking Die Hard.
Yeah, and I mean, like, kind of, I mean, because it is an Office Christmas Party that he's at in the movie. Should we do trailers?
Sure.
I completely even forgot about it, that we had trailers in front of this.
Okay, I should have written... Okay, so Silence,
Oh, yeah.
which is like Andrew Garfield is a missionary in Japan.
Dave and I are excited about
And
that.
it looks like a stone cold bummer, so you guys can have all of
Yeah,
that.
that's the new Scorsese movie.
It looks like they're missionaries and like things are not going well for the Japanese people to whom they are missionarying. Except it was all like, it was doing kind of like plinky background music and then flashing things in tuned to the music like a preview tends to do, and it's making it hard for me to focus on any one particular thing.
And
but these things all seemed terrible.
And they're looking for Liam Neeson too.
Are they?
Yeah.
Because it was it's and also little Darth, what's it?
Adam Driver.
Yeah. A Dog's Purpose, which I cried at the preview again because fucking I'm a gigantic pussy. But it's about a dog who comes back to life a bunch of times, and then he finds his old boy again, except he's all old and he has to teach him to learn and love.
Again, it would look way better if it was Tequila doing the voice.
I want to see a recut of the movie where it's just like different people doing the voiceover.
I want to see like
we could make 20 different movies that are all innately watchable.
Or the audio of like the trailer for Edge of Tomorrow played over this, where Tom Cruise dies again and comes back.
Just having to keep retrying it as a different dog.
Like, oh yeah, they'll change the title of it on video, like Live, Bark, Repeat.
Passengers, which we're seeing next week. I'm very excited because I wasn't excited about it when I thought it was gonna be good, because a movie where they're trapped in space stresses me right the fuck out. I don't like it when their heads explode, and I don't like it when their eyeballs pop out, and I don't like it when they slowly drift away into their doom.
Here's the thing, like, I'll definitely get into this more when we actually review the movie, but the script has been around a while. Like, it's actually is a really good script. The script is, which made me excited for the movie, because it was on, like, the blacklist for a while of like the best unproduced screenplays, and it had a really like Outer Limitsy kind of feel to it, like really dark and kind of horrifying.
Yeah, the way you're describing it as a horror movie, that movie I would not have any part of, but it would probably be good objectively speaking.
It was not so much that it was a horror film; it was more of a drama and really kind of this moral dilemma film. When I saw the trailer for it the first time, I still wanted it to be good, because I really like I really like what they did in the original script, but I was really worried with the tone, the completely changed tone of the script, and even the actors who aren't quite right for these. I know what happens in this movie. I know what the reveal is. And if it's done poorly, which I hear it is, and I was terrified of when I saw the trailer and saw who was cast in it, you're gonna hate this fucking movie. But we'll see.
I'm really curious. Anyway, Hidden Figures, which we talked about before. Yeah. Dunkirk.
Oh, that looks the Christopher Nolan war movie.
Yeah, that looks good. I'm probably gonna go home and Google Dunkirk, because I know like jack shit about it. I think it's World War I.
World War II.
World War II. I know more about World War II, but not as much about Dunkirk. But I like to know what's going on. And then Going in Style.
Oh, the Michael Caine and Morgan
they're gonna
Freeman.
rob a bank and they're old and adorable.
Did you see who's directing that?
Yeah.
Zach Braff.
I never saw Garden State, but I heard it was good.
I liked it at the time.
So, maybe it'll be good. That seems strange for him to be directing a wrinkly bank heist.
Well, maybe his last movie didn't do so hot.
What's his last movie?
He crowdfunded some movie, and it kind of came and went. I can't even remember what it was called, but it had him and Donald Faison in it again.
I'd watch Michael Caine and not Alan Alda, what's his name?
Alan Arkin
and Morgan Freeman just like read from a phone book.
Right,
so if they're gonna rob a bank, then I'm just gonna follow along behind them, giggling.
Yeah, that might be alright. I don't know.
Maybe it'll be like what Red 2 should have been, instead of the obnoxious May December bullshit.
It'll be what Last Holiday should have been. Or The Crew with Burt Reynolds and Richard Dreyfuss. You don't remember that? That was... Oh, I don't play that game. Speaking of came and went, it was like they're old and want to be mobsters or some shit.
I like when old people want to be stuff. But this one, it's like they're ripped from the headlines because they worked at a steel mill and they got their pensions stolen and the damn bank and the mortgages and the refis, and they're like, we don't have to take this shit anymore. We're old and mad about it.
And then these 3 assholes show up and hire him to stalk Will Smith for the rest of the movie.
I want to start hiring actors to follow my friends around. You're like, woo, I'm melancholy.
Okay, I just thought about this. You know what did something like Collateral Beauty right? Remember Bowfinger when they were all going up to Eddie Murphy and fucking with him through the movie? I love that fucking movie. I've never seen
Bowfinger.
Really?
I want to so
It's
bad.
so funny. It's so
because
fucking
I've heard
funny.
It's hilarious.
It's so goddamn funny.
See, that's the kind of movie that's like made that an actor would love being in, but that makes sense because it's all very Hollywood insider.
Yeah.
But in a way that you can understand as a Hollywood outsider.
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah, totally.
This was just, hey, you want to emote a bunch? And they're like, boy, howdy.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a while since I've won an Oscar, and they read the script, and they didn't realize how absurdly saccharine and cynical it was going to look on the big
not
screen.
from the script? My God. Like, Jesus Christ. Poor Will Smith. I mean, he wants an Oscar so bad.
He deserves an Oscar. He should have gotten one for Happiness.
Pursuit of Happiness?
Yeah.
I don't know who won that year. Was he nominated? He was nominated for Ali. I remember that.
I don't know.
No, he was great. He's a great actor.
Yeah, that movie made me cry like legit, you know.
Yeah, he's a great fucking actor. Someday.
Should have won one for Independence Day.
Yes. For Bad Boys 2. You know what? I'm sure it'll happen for him someday.
Yeah.
But boy, picking shit like this ain't gonna fucking do it.
I feel like this is like a point where you get sort of frantic because you've made so many movies and you still haven't won an Oscar, and so you're like, sure, this one, I'm gonna.
This'll be the one.
This has to be the one. Mm-hmm. This is not the one, William.
At least when, because, I mean, DiCaprio's, you're like, every year, like, maybe this will be the year, maybe this is the one. But at least DiCaprio was picking stuff from Martin Scorsese, the dude who did Birdman.
What
Like,
did he finally win for?
what the movie last year, The Revenant. So he's, picking movies from highly acclaimed directors that are great movies, regardless if he gets nominated for an Oscar or wins one or not. Really? The fucking guy who wrote So Undercover, the cop Miley Cyrus movie? Oh, yeah, that'll do it. That'll be the one.
I'd have given him an Oscar for Winter's Tale.
Will Smith?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He played the devil in Winter's Tale. We should just go home and watch the Winter's Tale again.
Honestly, yeah, it is winter.
Because, we've been looking for another movie to be one of our Christmas fare. Mm-hmm. And it certainly wasn't Kirk Cameron Saves Christmas, because turns out you can only watch that piece of shit once. Before
I still had a blast when we watched that at the Christmas party. The only 2 people who didn't were the people who hate sitting through anything.
I think that having had a conversation with them afterwards, their problem is more they don't like making fun of Christian stuff because they don't see the humor in it. Not so much because they're Christians, but more so because they find it a little more sinister than we do.
I've drank with him before, not buying it.
But at any rate, A Winter's Tale is fun for the whole family. Mm-hmm. I mean, we once bummed out an entire room full of people with that movie.
Hell yeah.
Cha-ching.
All right, I don't know what's coming. I get Passengers is next week. We've already seen Sing. So at some point we'll see Passengers. See ya.